Beneath the ocean's surface lies a world full of wonders, where every dive brings the chance of seeing something truly extraordinary. From mysterious sharks to sunken cities, the deep holds a treasure trove of unexplainable discoveries. Join us as we reveal 20 of the most remarkable findings ever brought to light by deep-sea divers. Number 20. SS City of Cairo. The SS City of Cairo, built in 1915 to carry passengers across the vast oceans, was almost 450 feet long, a true giant of the sea. But by the time World War II rolled around, the SS City of Cairo found itself on a different mission, transporting vital supplies to the UK. In 1942, during a fateful voyage, the ship left Cape Town, South Africa, only to be struck by a German torpedo. It plunged into the deep waters of the Atlantic Ocean, a tragic end for many on board. Of the 311 people, 207 survived thanks to rescue efforts. Sadly, the others lost their lives in the attack or while waiting for help to arrive. The SS City of Cairo also carried a valuable cargo, 2,000 boxes of silver coins, along with various supplies and even military equipment. This treasure trove made the ship a target for treasure hunters for years. However, time seemed to have swallowed the ship whole, leaving it forgotten in the depths of the ocean. That is, until 2015, when a deep-sea exploration team made a groundbreaking announcement. They had found the wreckage, not in 2015, but several years earlier in 2011. The ship lay in an incredibly deep, watery grave almost 17,700 feet below the surface, far too deep for any human diver to reach. However, specialized submersible robots were up to the task. By the time the discovery was made public, the team had already retrieved a significant portion of the treasure, a staggering $46 million worth of silver coins. The total value of the salvaged items is expected to reach around $60 million, making it the most valuable deep-sea salvage operation ever undertaken. Number 19. The giant pyrosome. Deep beneath the waves in the vast ocean lives a strange and fascinating creature, the pyrosome. Forget about the cuddly dolphins and playful sea otters. The pyrosome is something truly unique and slightly bizarre. Imagine a giant, jelly-like cylinder floating freely in the warm upper layers of the ocean. This is the pyrosome, made up of thousands of tiny individuals called zooids, all working together as one. These zooids are just millimeters in size and are embedded in a soft, gelatinous tunic, forming the body of the pyrosome. Each zooid has a special job, filtering the ocean water for tiny food particles like microscopic plants. They open to both the inside and outside of the tube like microscopic doors to bring in the water and nutrients they need. You might notice the pyrosome's bumpy exterior. Each bump represents one of those tiny zooids working hard inside. Now, these pyrosomes can grow to be quite large, with some reaching several meters in length, making them a truly impressive sight. Number 18. China's underwater city. Nestled beneath the calm waters of China's Qingdao Lake lies a hidden treasure, an entire ancient city. This metropolis, dating all the way back to the Eastern Han Dynasty between 25 and 200 AD, was actually submerged on purpose in 1959 to make way for the Xianan River Dam. Believe it or not, this sunken city is now one of the coolest underwater archaeological discoveries, and divers can even explore it. Originally, the Lion City wasn't underwater at all. It was a bustling center in the Zhejiang province, boasting incredible architecture. Think 5 grand city gates, 6 streets lined with beautiful stonework, houses, and exquisite carvings featuring lions, dragons, and phoenixes. It's clear that the people who built this city were incredibly skilled and the culture was truly rich. While flooding the city was a big undertaking aimed at generating electricity, it also meant sacrificing a place steeped in history and culture. Now, Shircheng rests peacefully under 40 meters of water, remarkably well-preserved thanks to its watery embrace. Divers who venture down to explore Shircheng experience something truly unique. They get to walk through the city's streets, still lined with all those detailed carvings, feeling like they've stepped back in time. It's a blend of historical immersion and adventurous exploration. Number 17. Apollo 11 engines. Space exploration is full of amazing feats of engineering, but it can also be incredibly expensive. That's why modern companies are focusing on reusable rockets, something that wasn't even an option back in the day. The mighty Saturn V rockets, the most powerful booster rockets ever built, were responsible for launching the Apollo missions to the moon and beyond. But here's the thing. These rockets were designed for a one-way trip. Once their fuel was spent, they were simply jettisoned, plummeting back to Earth and landing deep in the ocean far away from land. For years, these incredible pieces of history lay forgotten at the bottom of the sea. However, Jeff Bezos, the founder of Amazon and a space enthusiast himself, saw them as more than just sunken debris. He launched an expedition in 2012 to try and find these lost giants. Using advanced sonar technology, they located what they believed to be the remains of the rockets in the vast ocean depths. The next year, they sent down a team to retrieve parts from an astonishing depth of almost 14,000 feet. They managed to bring back enough pieces to reconstruct 2 of the Saturn V's massive F1 engines. Number 16. Animals chained up. A heartbreaking discovery was made by a group of divers in March 2016 in the waters surrounding Kokoya, Indonesia. Kokoya is known for its stunning beauty, crystal clear waters teeming with marine life and near-perfect weather, making it a prime tourist destination. However, what the divers found there was far from idyllic. Imagine their shock when they stumbled upon a disturbing sight: cages at the bottom of the ocean containing a mother and baby dugong. These gentle giants, close relatives of manatees and critically endangered, were in terrible condition. The mother was cruelly chained up, unable to move freely. The divers learned that a fisherman was holding them captive, exploiting them for his own profit. He lured tourists in, promising a chance to see the dugongs up close in exchange for money. Realizing the urgency of the situation, the divers pleaded with the fisherman to release the dugongs. He initially refused but eventually agreed to do so the next day. Suspicious of his intentions, the divers stayed on site, documenting everything and sharing it on social media to raise awareness. Their efforts paid off. The next day, wildlife authorities arrived at the scene, only to find the dugongs still imprisoned. The fisherman had lied, no surprise there. The authorities rightfully intervened and forced the fishermen to release the dugongs. Now it's time for today's topic. In late 2025, a Gansby expedition filming for a National Geographic deep-sea segment took a turn no one expected. At nearly 900 meters down, the ROV lights swept across a massive silhouette moving against the current. The divers reported scars, proportions, and a jawline unlike any catalogued great white. Audio logs captured stunned silence, then panic, as the animal slowly turned toward the camera, lingering far longer than normal curiosity would allow. The support vessel aborted the dive within minutes and returned to Cape Town under escort. Weeks later, crew members admitted off-record they wouldn't dive again in those waters. Official statements cited equipment anomalies, but the raw footage, never aired, tells a far darker story. Number 15. Vampire squid. Ever heard of a vampire squid? Believe it or not, it's real. But don't worry, it's not a blood-sucking monster like its name suggests. This deep-sea dweller, scientifically known as Vampirotuthis infernalis, which literally translates to vampire squid from hell, gets its flashy name from its appearance. It has a red, almost blood-like color, webbed fins that resemble a cape, and spiky spines that look like teeth. These shy creatures live in the dark depths of the ocean where sunlight barely reaches. If they feel threatened, they'll flip their cape inside out and release a cloud of sticky, glowing slime to scare away predators. Not exactly the most monstrous defense. Despite their scary name and unusual tactics, vampire squids are actually quite harmless. Number 14. Underwater circles. Ever heard of crop circles? Those mysterious patterns that appear in fields, often sparking wild theories about aliens or pranksters. Well, imagine finding something similar but not in a field hundreds of feet underwater. That's exactly what happened to divers off the coasts of Japan and Australia in recent years. They stumbled upon what looked like underwater crop circles, perfectly formed, circular patterns etched into the seabed. These weren't just 1 or 2 circles either. They were found at different depths, ranging from shallow waters to a whopping 426 feet down. For years, the origin of these underwater patterns was a complete mystery. Scientists scratched their heads trying to figure out how they got there. Then, a film crew in Japan managed to capture the culprit red-handed, or should we say, finned. It turned out that a specific species of pufferfish was the artist behind these intricate designs. These circles weren't just random markings. They were part of the pufferfish's elaborate mating ritual. The males create these impressive patterns, the larger and more complex, the better, to attract a mate. The discovery in Japan was amazing, but things got even more interesting when similar patterns were found off the coast of Australia. This species of pufferfish wasn't known to live in those waters, so the mystery was back on. Now scientists know that at least one fish species exhibits this behavior, but they're on a new mission to find out if another species is doing the same thing and creating these underwater masterpieces in Australia. Number 13. Human skull. Our journey now takes us to a truly remarkable discovery made in the Yucatan Peninsula of Mexico. Imagine exploring a network of underwater caves. You might expect to see fish, maybe some rocks, or even the occasional piece of trash. But in 2007, a team of divers stumbled upon something that sent chills down their spines: a child's skull. Now, this wasn't just any skull. The area where they found it was surrounded by ancient artifacts, making it clear this wasn't a recent tragedy. They made the wise decision to leave everything undisturbed. But unfortunately, other divers later came through and moved things around the site. Thankfully, a few years later, the remains were carefully retrieved for study and preservation. And guess what? This discovery turned out to be one of the most significant archaeological finds in the Americas. This young girl, now known as Naya, is believed to have lived around 12,000 to 13,000 years ago. She was likely in her mid-teens, and her remains offer a unique window into the lives of these early settlers. Scientists found evidence in her bones that she experienced malnutrition and stress during her life, and even that she was pregnant before her death. Number 12. Baiae. Imagine a city like Las Vegas, but in Roman times. That's what Baiae was, a luxurious resort town catering to the wealthy elite. Nestled over volcanic vents, it was renowned for its natural hot springs, offering the perfect escape for relaxation and indulgence. Unfortunately, Baiae's glory didn't last forever. In the 8th century, the city was attacked and plundered by the Saracens, marking the beginning of its downfall. By the 15th century, the city was completely abandoned, a victim of both its volcanic past and rising sea levels. But even though Baiae is no longer a bustling metropolis, its story is far from over. Today, it holds a unique title, one of the few underwater archaeological parks in the world. Tourists can embark on a journey back in time, exploring the city's remnants through glass-bottom boats. You'll see the crumbled remains of buildings and remarkably well-preserved statues, offering a glimpse into a bygone era. And for the truly adventurous, the option to scuba dive deeper and explore the underwater city firsthand is also available. Number 11. MS Zenobia. Built in 1979, the MS Zenobia was a state-of-the-art ferry designed to carry passengers and cargo across the Mediterranean Sea. However, something went terribly wrong during construction, and her maiden voyage in mid-1980 would tragically be her last. Fully loaded with over 100 tractor-trailers and a full crew, the Zenobia set sail from the Mediterranean, passing Gibraltar and making its first stop in Heraklion, Crete. After unloading some cargo, it continued towards Athens. It was on this leg of the journey that the captain noticed a critical issue. The ship was having trouble steering. As he tried to compensate, the Zenobia began tilting dramatically to its port side. The cause? The ballast tanks, responsible for balancing the ship, weren't filling properly. The crew seemingly fixed the problem and the Zenobia pressed on. But later in the journey, after leaving a port in Cyprus, the issue arose again. This time, to prevent blocking the port, the captain decided to moor the ship offshore. Unfortunately, the situation worsened and the Zenobia tragically sank, taking its estimated $250 million cargo 138 feet down with it. Thankfully, the crew had been evacuated safely beforehand and no one was injured. However, the wreck of the Zenobia remained a mystery for a few years until a team of brave divers finally explored the site. What they found was incredible. The Zenobia's structure, including the lower car deck and engine room, was largely intact, allowing divers to explore its interior. Their reports spread like wildfire, and Zenobia quickly rose to become one of the top 10 recreational diving sites globally, attracting thousands of divers each year. Number 10. Ghost Fleet of Truk Lagoon. World War II saw conflict erupt across the entire globe, with the Pacific region becoming just as intense as Europe, where the hostilities began. The Japanese Empire's main naval base was located in a place called Truk Lagoon, roughly 1,100 miles northeast of New Guinea. Allied forces knew that striking a significant blow to the enemy here would be crucial. In 1944, after capturing the Marshall Islands, the American-led Operation Hailstone commenced. This three-day assault, launched from aircraft carriers, targeted the Japanese stronghold. The results were devastating. 12 Japanese warships, 32 merchant ships, and 275 aircraft were destroyed in this single campaign. This attack left its mark on Truk Lagoon, turning it into the largest graveyard of ships in the world. Forgotten for 2 decades, the lagoon remained undisturbed until 1969. That year, Jacques Cousteau and his team arrived to explore the site and film a documentary. Their footage captured the eerie beauty and haunting presence of the wrecks, submerged in crystal-clear water. Some of these ships lie just 49 feet below the surface, easily accessible to divers. You can still see remnants of vehicles and equipment left behind during the attack. One of the most significant discoveries was the I-169 Shinohara, a submarine responsible for causing extensive damage during the attack on Pearl Harbor. Number 9. Polynesian Moai statues. Moai statues of Easter Island. These massive stone figures, carved by the Rapa Nui people, stand tall on the island like silent guardians. They're just as famous as Stonehenge or the Egyptian pyramids, a testament to the enduring power of human creation. Each moai has its own unique features and was carved from volcanic rock. These figures are believed to represent the spirits of ancestors, watching over and protecting the island. But the mystery doesn't stop there. While most moai stand proudly on land, some have found themselves underwater. So how did these giants end up in the ocean depths? One theory points to the challenges of transporting them. Moving these colossal figures from the quarry to their final locations was no easy feat given their immense size and weight. It's possible some moai simply slipped and toppled into the sea during this complex process. But another theory suggests something more deliberate. The Rapa Nui people had a deep connection to the ocean. It's possible these underwater moai were intentionally submerged as part of a ritual or as offerings to their ancestors. Today, these underwater moai offer a unique experience for divers exploring the depths along the coast of the remote Easter Island, famous for its massive stone statues. Number 8. Deep in the Baltic Sea. Deep down in the ocean, where sunlight barely reaches, lies a world of mysteries. Researchers have been exploring these depths for years, encountering incredible creatures and making mind-boggling discoveries. But the vastness of the ocean makes it nearly impossible to ever truly know everything it holds. However, that doesn't stop professional divers like Stefan Hogerborn from trying. In fact, he was part of a team that made a truly bizarre discovery back in 2011. Led by Captain Peter Lindberg and co-researcher Dennis Asberg, they stumbled upon something strange on the ocean floor in the Baltic Sea, an object unlike anything they'd ever seen before. This strange sunken object has left everyone scratching their heads. Scientists haven't officially identified it yet, and some folks online even think it looks like the Millennium Falcon from Star Wars. Now, divers typically wouldn't be fazed by unusual objects, but here's where things get weird. When the Ocean X team, the group behind the discovery, got close to the object, their equipment went haywire. They experienced all sorts of electrical malfunctions, and things only stabilized once they moved about 200 meters away. This has fueled speculation that the object might be something more than just a sunken ship, with some believing it could be an alien spacecraft. Others think it might be a sunken Russian vessel, but the truth remains a mystery. This mysterious spherical object has captured the world's attention, and everyone is eager to know its origins and how it ended up at the bottom of the Baltic Sea. Number 7. Bimini Road. This peculiar structure has captured the imaginations of explorers and scientists for decades. Divers first stumbled upon the Bimini Road back in 1968. What they saw was unlike anything they'd ever encountered before. A path made of neatly aligned stones stretching for about half a mile underwater. It resembled a road or a wall, sparking a crucial question. Was this a natural wonder or something more? Let's talk about the intriguing theory of Atlantis, popularized by the psychic Edgar Cayce. He predicted that evidence of this lost civilization would be found in 1968, the very same year the Bimini Road was discovered. This coincidence fueled speculation and attracted a wave of Atlantis enthusiasts convinced they had found a piece of the legendary city. However, geologists and archaeologists offer a more grounded explanation. They believe the Bimini Road is a natural formation called beach rock. This type of rock forms along shorelines where sand, waves, and chemical reactions work together to cement limestone together. Despite this explanation, the debate continues. Both sides, believers in the Atlantis theory and those favoring the natural formation explanation, present compelling arguments. Number 6. Pavlopetri. Deep beneath the waves of the Mediterranean lies a hidden treasure, a city frozen in time. Pavlopetri, dating back to 3000 BC, it's easily one of the oldest sunken cities in the entire region. Imagine that, a city older than the pyramids, resting silently for thousands of years. It wasn't until 1967 that Pavlopetri was finally discovered by Nicholas Fleming, a moment that changed our understanding of ancient history. Beneath the water, a remarkable network of streets, gardens, homes, temples, and even a cemetery lay remarkably well preserved. Urban planners were astounded by the city's layout, some even suggesting it was superior to modern urban planning. It's like stepping into a time capsule, offering a glimpse into a society that thrived thousands of years ago. Around 2009, further studies revealed a fascinating theory. Scientists believe a series of earthquakes caused the city to sink, submerging nearly 9 hectares beneath the waves. Despite these earthquakes, the city's structures remain remarkably well preserved. Many buildings are still clearly visible and recognizable today, offering a tangible connection to the past. However, this accessibility also presents a challenge. While it's tempting to explore this underwater marvel, experts are understandably concerned about the impact of tourism on the fragile site. Number 5. Underwater river. You're probably aware that beneath the surface of seemingly calm water, there could very well be a powerful river flowing underneath. Well, in Mexico, there's a place where divers have discovered something truly remarkable, an underwater phenomenon that appears like a river flowing deep within a cenote. Mexico's landscape is dotted with sinkholes and ancient cave systems that have been filled with water over time. These natural wonders, known as cenotes, were considered sacred wells by the Mayan civilization and are now popular spots for divers to explore due to their vast caverns and unique underwater structures. One specific cenote called Angelita, located near the ruins of the Mayan city of Tulum, has captured the attention of many. At the surface, this 200-foot or 61-meter wide pool appears almost out of place amidst the dense jungle. But the real intrigue unfolds as you descend deeper. Near the bottom of the pit, it appears as if a river is flowing across the cenote floor. While not an actual river, this visual illusion is caused by a fascinating phenomenon. The cenote has multiple water sources, each with varying levels of salinity. Instead of mixing uniformly with the surrounding water, the denser, salter water sinks to the bottom and begins to flow independently. Number 4. Frilled sharks. In the deepest, darkest corners of the ocean lurks a creature that's equal parts fascinating and terrifying. The frilled shark. Imagine a prehistoric serpent, all slender and elongated, with a jagged, dinosaur-like face. That's the frilled shark for you. These shy creatures are rarely seen in their natural habitat. In fact, it wasn't until 2004 that we even had footage of them. But don't let their shy demeanor fool you. Frilled sharks are living fossils, swimming the oceans for a staggering 80 million years. Their bodies retain a primitive look, a window into the ancient past. And their appearance isn't the only thing prehistoric. Their closest relatives are mostly extinct, leaving the frilled shark as a unique survivor from a bygone era. One look at their face and you'll understand why they're called frilled. It's like looking into a serpent's mouth. But that's not all. When they open wide, you'll see a horrifying sight. Over 300 razor-sharp teeth lining 25 rows. Imagine being caught in that trap. Don't think their slender bodies make them weak. Frilled sharks are surprisingly muscular and can lunge at their prey, similar to how a land snake strikes. In fact, one Australian fisherman who caught one in 2015 described it as a large eel with a head out of a horror movie. He called it a freakish-looking sea monster and vowed never to catch one again. Number 3. The Underwater Sculpture Park. Dive into the crystal-clear waters of the Molinaire Beauséjour Marine Protected Area in Grenada and discover a truly unique and somewhat spooky underwater experience. The Grenada Underwater Sculpture Park, the brainchild of British sculptor Jason Taylor, opened its doors in 2006 and has become a must-see for divers and snorkelers worldwide. This captivating underwater gallery boasts over 65 sculptures, each with its distinct personality and story. Imagine navigating a surreal and haunting landscape where these sculptures are strategically placed on the seabed. One of the most iconic pieces is an eerie circle of life-sized human figures, all holding hands, eerily suspended in the depths. But the true magic of the park lies in its purpose beyond art. What makes the park truly intriguing, and perhaps even a little unsettling for some, is the way the sculptures interact with their environment. Over time, coral, algae, and various marine creatures have colonized the statues, transforming them into living, breathing ecosystems. This natural process has given the sculptures an almost ghostly appearance, adding an unexpected layer of mystery and intrigue to the underwater experience. Number 2. Heraklion. Heraklion, an ancient Egyptian city, lies hidden beneath the Mediterranean Sea, a captivating tale of a once thriving civilization lost for centuries, rediscovered in the early 2000s. Its story begins around 800 BC when it flourished as a bustling port city. Imagine a vital hub of trade between Egypt and the Greek world, adorned with grand temples, majestic statues, and impressive structures, all symbols of its wealth and importance. But around 800 AD, tragedy struck. Rising sea levels and shifting ground caused the city to slowly sink beneath the waves, disappearing for centuries. However, Heraklion's story doesn't end there. In the early 21st century, archaeologists made a groundbreaking discovery. They found the lost city, remarkably well preserved. Exploring these underwater ruins is like stepping back in time. Archaeologists have uncovered incredible finds, statues of deities, remnants of temples, and even everyday objects like coins, pottery, and inscriptions. These invaluable discoveries have shed light on the lives of the people who lived in Heraklion, revealing their religious beliefs, political structures, and even their daily routines. Number 1. The Yonaguni Monument. The Yonaguni Monument is a massive rock formation located underwater just off the coast of Yonaguni, Japan. But is it natural or something more? For years, there's been a heated debate about whether the Yonaguni Monument is just a natural rock formation or if it was somehow modified by human hands, or even beings from beyond our world. Some folks believe the monument is a man-made structure, possibly built by an ancient civilization that thrived on Earth thousands of years ago. They point to its shape, which they say resembles an ancient landing platform, as evidence. Others, however, argue that it's simply a natural wonder. They point out that the monument is made of fine sand and mudstones, which are estimated to have been deposited around 20 million years ago. They also highlight that most of the formations are connected to the underlying rock, suggesting a natural process of erosion and shaping. The main feature of the monument is a rectangular-shaped rock measuring roughly 150 meters by 40 meters and standing 27 meters tall. Its top sits about 5 meters below sea level, making it a truly impressive sight. Thanks for watching and see you in the next video.